Okay, this is converting metric length. So this is going to be the same method that we use for volume and for mass, but today we're going to use length. So I'm using the examples from page 237, and this is number 1. So the first thing I do to solve these problems is to have a chart in front of me of the prefixes for metric length. You can use the one in the book or you can make your own. On the test you will have to make your own, so I would recommend that you practice this method of writing it down before doing every lesson. Okay, so number 1, the first thing that I do is I do not write all of the problems down first. I write only number 1 because I don't know how much space this is going to take up. Next, first step of this problem is to figure out whether this unit is larger or this one. So I'm going to use my table for this. This is a meter and this is a millimeter. So the milli is down here, whereas the meter is up here. So since milli is down below meter, the milli is smaller than the meter. So I'm putting an L for larger and an S for smaller. So that means that my units are going from larger to smaller. However, that means that I'm going to have more of the small unit to fit inside of a larger unit, because 15 meters is going to be less than the same amount of space, the same amount of distance for millimeters. So you're going to have a lot more millimeters to fit the same amount. So I'm going to multiply because of that. And you can remember multiply because large to small is always multiply. Even though you're going from large to small, you're going to have a larger amount of numbers, a bigger number on this side. So that's why we're multiplying. And I've told the students that L could stand for Logan, multiply for makes, and S for sandwiches. So Logan makes sandwiches is an easy way to remember that you're always going to multiply when going from large to small units. My next step is to write down that I'm multiplying 15 by something to get to millimeters. This is where I have to go back to my chart to compare how far away is milli from meters. And since it is 3 away, 1, 2, 3, that means it is 3 zeros smaller. So it's 1,000 times smaller. So that's why I'm going to multiply it by 1,000. Now this is where the base 10 system makes it much easier to multiply and to convert. Because it's a base 10 system, I don't actually have to multiply 15 times 1,000. I can just move over my places 3 times. So I'm going to write down the number 15 in place value spots and put an imaginary decimal after my whole number. Next, because I'm multiplying, my number is going to get larger. So that's why I'm going to the left. It's going to be larger by 3 spots because I have 3 zeros. So everything is going to move over 3 places to the left. And this is where I would recommend using a different color if you need to move everything over. I'm going to move the 1 over 1, 2, 3 spots. And then my 5 is going to follow. 1, 2, 3, 5. So my new number is 1, 5, and then because I have spaces between that number and the decimal, I have to put in 0 placeholders. So my new number is 15000, and I can drop that decimal because there's no other numbers after the decimal place. So I have 15,000 millimeters, and that's my final answer.